Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C. So Mrs. Clinton confronted by some rather intelligent Pakistanis. How can we trust the U.S.? You can't. I hope I've contributed something to that. I was on Pakistan television back in January thanks to Ibrahim Maliki, one of the leading Pakistani talk show hosts, and warned that the goal of this entire thing is to bust Pakistan into parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, and that the overwhelming emphasis here is an anti-Chinese thrust. So, the bombs in Iraq, Mrs. Clinton's debacle in Pakistan, and then this bomb, and this is the main issue now, a large bomb in Peshawar. Peshawar, of course, being the city from which all of those Iran-Contra operations were done. Right across the Khyber Pass from Kabul is Peshawar. And this time it was a bomb placed in the women's market designed to kill maximum numbers of women and children. And, well, who did it? Naturally, the U.S., of course, blames everything on Al-Qaeda in Pakistan. But the Taliban tell a very different story, and this, I think, is one of the main insights of the week. We have the Chinese news agency, Xinhua, New China, and they report, first of all, the chief of the Taliban in Pakistan. This guy's name is Hakimullah Maqsood. Hakimullah Maqsood says the U.S. placed the bomb in the women's market, killing 108 people, principally women and children. This is by way of a Pakistani local news agency called NNI. And it is in the town of Chowk Yadgar. Another injuries in addition to the dead, 108 dead, 150 injured. So the word from the Taliban is that Blackwater did it, that this is a U.S. operation bootlegged through the infamous private security firm Blackwater. He claimed that American security agency Blackwater and Pakistani agencies were involved in attacks in public places, and this was then blamed on the militants. He says the Taliban didn't do it. Our war is against the government and the security forces and not against the people. We are not involved in these blasts. You've got Azam Tariq, the official spokesman of the Taliban, is saying that if you don't report this, that they'll come after you. So these are, of course, the Taliban. And in addition to the Taliban, we've got a high figure in the Iranian government. The Speaker of the Iranian Parliament, Ali Larijani, former negotiator, famous guy. This is also Xinhua, Chinese news agency, New China, October 29th, Tehran. Iran's parliament speaker Ali Larijani said on Thursday that there is concrete evidence showing U.S. involvement in the recent deadly bomb explosions in the country's Sistan-Baluchistan province. So he's talking about on the Iranian side, the U.S. is involved. This repeats, of course, the charges made previously by the Iranian government that had blamed the U.S. and Israel for that attack on the Pasdaran Revolutionary Guard. So there we are on both sides of this Pakistan-Iran border. We've got the U.S. being directly accused of setting up large bomb attacks. Many top leaders of the Pasdaran Revolutionary Guard killed on the Iranian side, and more than 100 primarily women and children killed in the Peshawar women's market. So what does this point to? That there's an escalation. We've had Obama now going to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware and receiving his harvest of death, because he is now the warmonger-in-chief. This Afghanistan is now Obama's war, and with the usual hypocrisy and maudlin sentimentality, Obama was crying crocodile tears for the bereaved families of, I think, about 15 coffins that came off the plane. Plenty of coffins for Obama to choose from. This has been the deadliest month in Afghanistan in the entire war. It's now officially worse than August, which had been the previous record of U.S. deaths. We're now up to 54 combat deaths, but that is sure to be surpassed today, October 30th, and tomorrow, October 31st. So we'll be above 54 by all indications so far, and that is the worst month. Now, Obama's photo op, I think, clearly indicates that he is preparing to escalate. He's beginning to wrap himself in the flag and in the bloody shirt of the gallant dead. This is the same kind of hypocrisy and scoundrel behavior that we became accustomed to under Mad Dog Bush the Younger. Obama does it, of course, in his typically soothing and slimy, slippery, and evasive way. But the coffins are now multiplying. This 54, that's as bad as many, many months in Iraq ever got. It's also interesting, the bombs in Kabul, Afghanistan. Now, this is apparently Taliban. The Taliban say that they cannot carry on their usual military activities now because of the onset of winter in Afghanistan, but that they will continue with bombings and other attacks inside the city of Kabul, which up to now had been a kind of privileged sanctuary. So this is going to get to be quite wild, and it means that there will be no peace. Even though the mountain passes will be covered with snow, the streets of Kabul presumably are going to become the main combat theater. Now, the escalation, we've had Barkey's War Games. We've had, for example, Washington Post reporting on Monday, October 26th, that Obama has gamed two competing Afghan scenarios. I guess it's the counterinsurgency and the counter-terrorism scenarios. He's also done it from the point of view of the number of troops. One exercise led by Admiral Mike Mullen, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, dealt with the likely result of inserting 44,000 more troops into the country to conduct a full-scale counterinsurgency. So Obama's war games, Field Marshal Barkey and his war games. The other news on this is that Obama has demanded province-by-province reports. He wants details on how every province of Afghanistan is being run. This is now Washington Post of yesterday, Thursday. Obama seeks study on local leaders for the troop decisions, provinces to be analyzed. Sounds like Carter and his obsessive micromanagement. Back in a minute with World Crisis Radio.